Hello, everybody, and welcome to another session of the Roundtable here on mycountylink.com. And this is going to be the sports version. We have the usual, cast of suspects with us here today. We've got Galen Blosser, Ty House. I'm Alex Warner, Mike Stiegel here, and Nick Schmidt behind the camera. And it's been a while, guys, since we sat down and talked a little bit about sports. We're going to cover everything from high school through college and pro, and halfway through the high school football season already, and you're starting to see the wheat separate from the chaff, right, Galen? I know you've been around at most of the ball games. Let's talk Miami Valley League first of all, Greenville in particular, and then we'll hit some of the other leagues around.
Well, the Miami Valley League, I think Greenville has done really well this year. I know Coach would like to have more wins, but with the 2 wins to start out the season, they've got a chance for another win. But when we started the season, I said if they won 3 games, it would be the Super Bowl. And if they won 2, it had an excellent season. Well, they've got that. So I'm pleased with what we see. It's going to come down to Tippecanoe, I think, at the top.
I would agree with that. Tippecanoe is a class of the league, I believe.
Yeah, Tip and Troy. I looked up the standings here. Ty's got them. Everybody's got their stats. But Tip and Troy, they meet on the 17th at Tip. Right. In the park, or in that antiquated stadium. It feels good to say that now that Greenville's got a new stadium. Yeah. But
doesn't feel good to say it when you're as antiquated as the stadium is.
That's bad. But with Tip and Troy, I think it's going to come down to that. And Tip right now, I tell you, Tip's got it going. They're a powerhouse in just about every sport in the league right now.
Right, everything.
But Xenia could slip in there.
Xenia's not a bad ball club.
It's been a while for them too.
Yeah,
it's been a while for Xenia.
Yeah, they've had a couple decent teams here in the last few years, but overall, you're right. It's been a while.
Yeah, but kudos to the Wave this year. You mentioned, Alex. I mean, someone asked me before the season started whether they'd be any good this year. I said, I don't know if they're going to win any games. I think there's a chance, 3, maybe 4, but they will be better than they were last year, regardless of the record. So, right. And I think the young men have proven that, and just keep on, right? So.
Yep.
Yeah, it takes a while to learn a new offense like that, and for Coach Chanel to get his program in place. And the kids are gonna, if they're gonna compete with right now, you take a look. We talked Tip Troy, but Butler's in there. Xenia's mentioned. Fairborn had
tough losses.
Yeah, Fairborn had just better athletes than we did. But you get these kids in the weight room, and another year or two.
Another couple years.
Yeah, another couple years.
Greenville does have 4 or 5 kids, and statistically in the top 5, you got in passing yards, in sacks, rushing yards, and receiving yards. They've got a Greenville kid in the top 5 in stats in the whole league.
Aiden Mannix is 4th in passing. Gabe Ramble, 5th in rushing, and Johnny Barr.
They're actually doing pretty good.
Second,
2 wins with the amount of kids they've got, and starting out all new. And the thing that I've noticed the most about them, that I'm most proud of, is they're competitive and they're not quitting.
Right.
We haven't seen that in a long time.
And there's more than just the X and O's of football. There's learning the coaches, who our coach is, Coach Chanel, is disciplined. He's nice to the kids, but he's disciplined, and there's more things they learn besides just X and O's when it comes to discipline and following different rules. And I think they're learning that.
I know I wrote a column about that, have the kids bought in completely. It's one thing to buy into what you're doing X's and O's wise, but you have to do through the whole program. You have to have, if a coach tells you to do something you think's dumber than heck, do it, because there's a reason for him wanting you to do that. Mm-hmm. And I hope the kids, when he tells them something that they don't agree with or they don't understand what's going on, go ahead and do it anyway, because you will see the purpose down the road.
Mm-hmm. One thing besides some success on the field and just a major improvement over the last few years is the fans. The new stands, the stadium, the fans, the enthusiasm's back, and hopefully that carries on through the remainder of this year, because we got the meat of the schedule coming up. We got some tough games.
Yes, we do.
But just to see the fans excited again, that really is good for the community.
And to see that stadium full, because football and boys basketball carries the load financially for the high school sports.
Right. Now, volleyball is another thing. Galen, I know you get around and see quite a bit of volleyball. Let's stay with the MVL here. We'll get through the MVL and then we'll hit the WOAC and so forth. Volleyball's, I'm looking Tip, Butler, Sydney seem to be the class of the league.
They are. Tip is just, they're going to win it. They could go quite far in the tournament this year. Greenville girls are having a good season. Kendall Peltz has got her 2000th
What was it, assist?
assist,
Assist,
and
yeah.
she set the school record for service aces, beat Libby McKinney's record of 166. She was a 2021 graduate and was a very good volleyball player. So Kendall Peltz is having a great year for Greenville volleyball. They're not going to finish real high in the conference, but they've had a good year.
And they're in a tough conference. The
Very
three
tough
teams we
conference.
missed are really outstanding, and happen to be in the same division as the Wave are. So
Yeah, Tip is undefeated, and they just beat Versailles in 3 sets, I think Saturday,
Oh.
3 straight sets.
Yeah.
So, and it was a close, but they did beat them.
Yeah, and we'll get to Versailles and some of the schools up north in just a little bit. You know, we talk about, and I hate to say this, I haven't been to either boys or girls soccer at all this year, and I know Greenville's really struggling and has for quite a few years. I'm not sure what to say about our soccer program here in the Treaty City.
Well, the Greenville girls have won 3 games. The boys haven't won any, and the boys have only scored 2 goals this year in
Yeah.
total. And the season's way past half over.
Yeah.
the difference is in Greenville, and actually take, Greenville, maybe go to Mercer County, maybe except for Salina, you don't see any MAC schools have a soccer team. And, but Greenville fields a soccer team, but if you go south of 70,
Oh my.
it's huge. You go to a state, we went to, my grandkids play soccer, but, and it's something I never grew up with, had to learn to love. There's many teams at small levels. They're starting at 6 years on, there's tournaments all over and they're traveling. We just don't have that feeder program that other schools have. And that's huge, because as you progress up, and you know how it is with anything else, Little League Baseball, whatever, you start smaller and you learn the basics and you get better at it. Greenville fields a team with athletes, but knowing the game and playing the game and being experienced with it is different. So it's huge elsewhere, but not in Greenville, and I don't think, particularly Dark County, maybe FM at one time had a pretty stout
They did.
team.
And they have no program at all.
They have no program at all, but Newton's okay in that league. But anyway, I think a lot of it has to do with having a feeder program, which we just don't have that.
And there's no tradition of soccer as far as the general fan base is concerned either.
You know,
And it's just tough to get that going. I know Greenville's had boys soccer in particular. They've had some decent teams over the years, but we're really in a dry stretch right now. And God love the kids that are going out and playing.
Absolutely.
You know, and the coaches that are working hard, but it's a struggle right now. Hey, I know I'm leaving from here, as long as the rains and stuff stay away, I'm going out to Turtle Creek. Boys golf sectional out there.
Yep.
And then the girls had their sectional last week. Greenville girls advanced on to the districts this week, which
They
is
have
good.
made a marked improvement from the first of the year. They've done an excellent job. The boys' team has done much. The thing you can tell what kind of coaching quality we have is the kids are getting better all the time, and they are getting better. Both coaches have done an excellent job, and there's a lot of good golf played in this area for some of these teams.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brian Stickle and Tracy Haynes, they're really good to me and always are available to talk.
Yeah, and they're veteran coaches. They've been there. My gosh, Brian's in what, his 38th, 39th year?
Forever, yeah.
Something like that.
I know in the girls' soccer, they go to Ella Burning, who's averaging 39.7.
I mean,
right?
girls golf.
Golf, right, and then Vera Cox, 41.2, and Sophia Christian Parent, 41.7.
Yeah.
So they got, top 3 right there are hitting the ball pretty well for the Wave.
Yeah.
Ellis
there's
with
a lot of
Tippecanoe.
good, there's a lot of good
I'm
golf
sorry,
played around here
Tippecanoe,
by
it's
our
Ella
local
Burning,
teams.
Tippecanoe leading
There's
the
some
league,
really good
sorry.
golfers out.
Yeah, there's some
Yeah.
good golfers out there. But once again, you take a look at the league standings. I tell you, what Tip's got going in the water over there, I don't know. But, man, they are dominating the MVL.
And
pretty much.
I've asked, do they recruit? And they say, no, most their kids are local.
Oh,
The difference between recruiting and have somebody want to go there.
That's right,
And that's a hell, a lot of people accuse Tri-Village of recruiting.
right.
No, when you're good, people want to go there.
Yeah.
And you watch here in a couple years, I believe, people are going to start wanting to go to Greenville, and they're going to, just like they do Marion local up north. They want to go to Marion.
Yeah. Hey, and you saying something about the WOAC and Tri-Village. Let's segue, beautiful segue.
You're welcome.
Right into the Western Ohio Athletic Conference. Boy, there's a big ball game coming up in football
Yep.
on the 17th of October down at Camden there, or Gratis, whatever, out in the middle of nowhere.
Yep.
Preble Shawnee hosting the Tri-Village
Tri-Village
Patriots, and
League.
that'll be for the
That's for the
league
money.
championship.
Yeah.
It's going to be
That's
big.
it this year.
Yeah.
But don't you find the surprise in the league, Miss Centerwall Valley?
Yes.
No, that's a surprise.
Well, it is.
I'm happy
but-
for them. They've done
but-
4-0, you know. but-
Yeah, and that's great. They're like Greenville, but from here on,
It's killer.
they haven't played Tri-Village, Arcanum, and Sonia.
And Shawnee.
And Shawnee. They
My
haven't.
point is, when's the last time they were 4-0?
That's right. So I'm tickled to death for them because I like the program.
Yeah.
Glenn Curtis, he
I'm
just
glad
play
to see him.
there.
I'm glad to see him start.
And they have a new coach.
Yeah.
But the great start for the Blackhawks, really
It
is.
is.
So good for them.
You know, it's interesting. The Shawnee and Tri-Village game that'll decide the league championship. Tri-Village, Shawnee both have starter or senior starting quarterbacks with a lot of experience, a lot of talent in Sagister, and then the Morton kid down at Shawnee. They both have big linemen. Dominic Black is a junior being recruited by some D1 schools at Tri-Village, and then the Shrout kid
Shrout
down
kid.
at Preble Shawnee.
Yeah, big
Same
boy.
situation. Those are big kids, and
And
you
they're
put them
athletic.
in Division 6, Division 7,
Yep.
they flatten people.
Yeah, I went down and watched Arcanum play Preble Shawnee this past Friday at Shawnee. Arcanum has a good team, and they just took care of them. I mean, it's,
Yeah. Yeah, when we mentioned those four individuals, they got other athletes with them too. I tell you, Tri-Village has a tremendous crop of athletes right now coming through, and Shawnee's just the same. And boy, when you got some athletes, that makes a huge difference.
So-
That makes a huge difference.
who are you picking on that game?
It's at Shawnee. I don't know if that makes a difference or not. It'll come down to somebody breaks a big play or somebody, gets hurt or something. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. That's a toss-up.
Yeah, it is. I really do like Tri-Village, not because they're county. I think they have more weapons. Don Black, he's going to be a D1 football player, but I think Tri-Village might have a few more weapons.
Skilled people.
I think they're better defensively, and that.
Yeah.
that-
I agree
Preble
with you. I
Shawnee,
think
and
they're better
think that's it.
defensively, but I think, which one has the most experience?
Tri-Village.
There you go. That's who you pick.
Go with experience, huh?
Go with experience.
Even on the road.
Even
I'll
on
go,
the
I'll go
road.
with that in defense. I think Tri-Village has a pretty stout defense.
There was a big volleyball match down there in the WOAC too. Was it Arcanum and Miss Cinewall both leading the league, and Arcanum beat the Blackhawks, if I'm
Yeah.
not mistaken, right?
Well, Arcanum's defending WOAC champs, and they're going to, I think, get it again this year. They've been through all their tough games. I saw them play Covington last night, and Covington, somebody was telling me they're ranked in the state. They beat them in straight sets last night at Covington. Arcanum did.
We were down and saw Tri-Village and Ansonia, I think it was, and Ansonia, Tri-Village handled Ansonia, and Ansonia, I think, was like second or third in the league, if I'm not mistaken. And, I don't get the chance to see volleyball too often. I'm impressed
sport.
by the skills. I mean, I'm thinking, behind the house playing volleyball and tipping balls around. These girls get after it.
Yeah, no, some of these girl volleyball players, you watch them, man, I wouldn't want to be hit by them. I'm telling you what, they can jump. You just watch it. It's like, this is at a different level than what I remember.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
fun
It's
sport
totally
to watch. I
it is.
enjoy watching it. I have my grandson down, he plays volleyball for the men's half team. So I can go to a tennis match or I can go to watch him play volleyball. And volleyball's a lot more exciting. I mean, it's a fast game and it's really good athletes
Yeah.
out there.
But I'll tell you, the best job in all sports being a volleyball official. Because you're
It
always
is.
inside.
You're standing up on those
You don't
stands.
move much. You get paid well. Great position.
But Arcanum, they're just really powerful. I don't see anybody beating them in the league now. They have Caroline Long, she's a senior, tremendous at the net. Grace Pazowski, spell that, Mike, Pazowski.
Oh.
SKI.
Key something.
Ty and I had a Greenville Arcanum basketball game we did, and
Yeah.
it took us about 3.5 quarters to even come close to pronounce it, her brother's name.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I still don't, I know it starts
It's
with a P.
phonetically spelled,
I think.
you know.
Right.
It does start with a P, right?
Oh, yeah. PSCULKOSKI.
That's
You know-
Irish, isn't it?
You know,
Yeah, it's an Irish.
her teammates probably call her alphabet, so just,
They call her, Coach calls her Grace P.
Grace P. Hey, and then moving on, they had the league championships in all the conferences last week because they're in sectional play now. I mean, the girls are a week ahead of the boys, right? Because the girls are at
Right.
district
Yeah.
level. Greenville's girls, as we mentioned, qualified for district in Division I, which is really good. So congratulations to them. But the National Trail boys who went to the state last year won the league down there, but I'm not so sure. Did Art Canham beat them in the tournament or tie them?
330 to 330.
330 to 330. But then it went to like the fifth score then, didn't it? Or however they worked that out.
you know,
It
the
was
one group
called
of
a tie.
athletes we normally forget that just did real well they just won, was the Greenville cheerleaders. Did you see that?
No, I
Yeah, they
didn't.
just won some sectional or something, some place they were at. They won it for spirit and something else. So
Yeah.
congratulations to
Oh,
them.
good.
Absolutely.
Good,
And,
yeah.
and if you don't think they're athletes, just watch them.
Yeah, they bounce around pretty well.
They did well.
An interesting fact on Art Canham boys. Superintendent John Stevens, his son was co-player of the year.
Oh, okay.
Luke, he plays basketball. He's a real quiet kid, just a super kid. But boy, did he step up and come through. And he had a bad back the week before and didn't even play. Didn't know if he was going to be able to play, and he come in and co-player of the year in the WOAC.
Yeah. So that was National Trail Art Canham tied.
Right.
In a tournament, National
Right.
Trail won the regular
And Preble
season.
Shawnee was third. I mean, right, bang, bang, we
Yeah.
mentioned Preble Shawnee too a lot of times in this program.
And then in girls golf, that was Tri-Village won that, didn't they? Tri-Village girls?
Yes.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken.
Right.
We can talk about the MVL and we can talk about the WOAC because local, and I will say they have great websites. They have tremendous websites
do.
to get standings and statistics. And God love all the people up north in the MAC, but they need to work on something
Their
up there.
websites are terrible.
You cannot find
No.
standings, you
No.
cannot find statistics,
Maybe
and
we
that
should
makes
send-
it tough to talk
Maybe
about.
we should send Dale up there too.
Yeah, it's, they don't follow the same template that all the other schools use, and it's really frustrating for me, because I can't
Yeah.
get the information.
And when we talk football and volleyball, I mean, you talk those two sports. I mean, we all know the reputation and
Of the MAC.
the MAC, the mighty MAC
yeah.
up there. But it's just tough to dig up
Right.
information, and we're all involved with stuff in this part, and so we don't get up and see those games in person, and so we rely on those stats that the other leagues provide, and we don't get it from the
Right.
MAC, and I don't know what the problem is up there,
Just,
but
everybody just up there is kind of in their own little thing and,
Keep it secret.
okay.
yeah, keep it.
I mean, and it
keep-
skips, because then if you
Right.
go on up and you look at the Western Buckeye League, you skip over to
Yeah,
that, you go up to the line, the
Western
same area as
Buckeye.
Lubbock. They got the same format or template that everybody else
Yeah,
has.
I do in the winter, I do all the scores.
Yeah, right.
And I can do 5 conferences that quick.
Yeah.
But to get the MAC, I
Yeah.
just go through, scroll and scroll.
I don't know, I guess we're
We
gonna
have
have
to
to
talk to 'em.
go up to the
But-
Wooden
but-
Shoe Inn or
but-
something and talk to the locals more often and get caught up on stuff.
Real quick, back to the girls'
Yeah.
golf, and the golfer of the year in the WOAC was a freshman at Tri-Village. Lila Brewer, she was a freshman, and Lee Morris got coach of the year from Tri-Village,
Now,
girls' golf.
is
So-
he the high school principal also, or not?
Yes, he's a principal. Is
Okay.
he junior high, or, he's one of them.
He's
Either
one of
junior
them,
high or
okay,
high
I thought he was
school.
administrator
So,
down there. or
yes, he
something.
is.
Okay, well, hey, boys, we've touched on high school sports, let's move up a level
I
here.
mentioned the girls' tennis
Oh.
team, the Wave tennis.
Okay, go ahead.
Had a
Yes.
really good season this year, by golly.
Yes, they did, by
And
God.
again, the Tippett Canoes on the top, but the Wave battled them, so a real good season. Hats off to the Wave, Lady Wave tennis team.
I think, just watching this last year, I think Greenville athletics and everything is just moving up a step.
That step, you bet.
I
Right.
think the biggest problem with Greenville is numbers.
Yeah,
Got to get more kids out. That's it.
yeah, well,
And our class size is
The class-
Mike, and when we were in school, 340, 350
Yeah.
kids, now they got 180.
Yep.
I mean, you just have that, so.
But if you look at schools like, take Marion Local, they may have 99 boys in the whole school, and 98 of them play football, and
Yeah, but there's no
everybody plays
soccer.
something.
Right.
or they're in the marching band or whatever.
And they're doing two
Everybody's
sports, which is
involved.
fine.
So are you going into pro sports now?
Well, I was going to go to
College.
college for just
Okay,
a little
all
bit,
right.
talk a little college
That-
football here and so forth. I
That
mean,
works perfect.
we're, what, 4 games into the season for most schools, and you're starting to see some movement as some of the preseason favorites are living up to expectations, and then some of the others that were fairly highly ranked kind of taking a dive right now. So we might as well start with the elephant in the room, and that's the Ohio State University football program, ranked number 1.
They, I think they're rated just a little too high. I think they're too young yet. They had to replace a lot of people. They had 14 people drafted.
But they have a $35 million payroll.
They do. But what did Nick Saban say about that? Doesn't matter how much money you spend if the players are crap, so.
Yeah, get your money's worth.
And he's
Look at
right.
the Bengals. Anyway,
We'll get to them later. But I think Ohio State's, I think they're gonna lose at least one. Because I just think Oregon.
Penn
I
State.
think
You think Penn State and Oregon?
Tell you what, watch out for Indiana.
they don't play Oregon.
I watched
yeah,
them
don't
play
play
Illinois. I watched them play Illinois the other night, but in the Big Ten, they destroyed Illinois. I mean, destroyed them.
Yeah.
I'm looking at from the Big Ten only, okay, and I would agree. I think Ohio State's a tad, they're a playoff team, okay?
Yeah, they'll make the playoffs.
But I'm not sure yet whether they sort out with, in the top 5 or where they would be in there. It's definitely a top 10 team. But I'm looking at the schedule the rest of the way, and OSU has Illinois, Penn State, and Michigan, okay? Penn State, on the other hand, has Oregon, Ohio State, Indiana. Okay, so they might have a little tougher road to go. Oregon, Penn State, Indiana, USC, nothing. Michigan only has Ohio State. USC, Michigan has played nobody. I mean, their schedule.
And they've struggled.
And they struggled. So, I mean, you take a look, Indiana has Oregon left and Penn State only. So Indiana can get through it. There are a lot of teams might have 1 or 2 losses, but if I take a look, looks like Ohio State and Penn State have the Yeoman's schedule this year.
And I think they should. But I do think that Ohio State's just a touch too young yet. You got a freshman quarterback, Julian saying, I mean, he might be all world, but he is a freshman,
I don't disagree.
and he's gonna have to learn.
But regardless, they'll be a playoff team, I believe.
I think so.
Oh, yeah, I think there's no doubt about that.
But the Big Ten will be a fight. I think it's time
Yeah,
between
you
Penn
just
State
look
and
how
Ohio
the
State.
mixture of the games coming up, and it just, you can sneak through with 1 or 2 losses.
Yeah.
So anything else on college football? Anything else going on out there?
Yeah, UD quarterback.
Yes.
Schondelmeyer.
Made the full
Schondelmeyer,
circle.
yeah.
Bryce Schondelmeyer, 6'2", 195. I looked up a couple stats on him. His last year, he was a junior at Arcanum.
Right.
He passed for 3,278 yards, 781 rushing, 5.6 average, and he went to Springfield. He passed for 4,630 yards. And
They went to the state championship game, I
yeah,
think then, right?
And then he went to Youngstown State, and then as a redshirt, and so he's at UD, and he's starting this year. And in 3 games, they're 2-1. He's 45 for 73 for 61.6 completion, 565 yards, 6 TDs, no interceptions, and a 153.8 rating.
Right.
So he's got 3 years he could play for UD.
Mm-hmm.
The one big thing about college football still, they still have to fix this NIL thing. If they don't fix this, it's gonna ruin college football. Because you're gonna have everybody going to the big schools. None of the lower level, like the MAC, stuff like that, they're not gonna be able to compete. They're gonna have it's gonna be at a different level, and I don't think that's right. I think you have to cap. One of the suggestions I really like about the NIL is that, okay, you take this NIL money from this school, you're there 4 years. And I totally agree with that. You take money from them, you're gonna stay there for 4 years, you will not be allowed to transfer. I think that's what they ought to do.
Or if the coach leaves, then you got an opportunity too, because the coaches don't have that. They can leave off when they want to as well. So it kind of goes both ways. I agree with you. I'm not a big guy on the NIL. I'm not a big guy for this kids transferring to schools just so they can play someplace, or it's always because about their grades, they can do better, but it's not. It's because they can play. And I'm not a really big guy. Understand why they do it. If they got a chance to get a scholarship someplace, great. But overall, that's one thing I like about the MAC. You're homegrown, you're homegrown.
Yep.
I don't care if I'm playing Parkway or I'm Marion. I'm playing
Yep.
in my school.
You talk about the MAC, we go Mid-American Conference, which Mike was alluding to there. And basically the MAC and the so-called, group of five, they've become just like AAA farm teams now.
It's enough
They'll
to-
bring
yeah.
kids in, they develop them, and if they develop them, those kids are moving up to the bigger Power Four conferences, and vice versa. Guys that aren't making it up there,
Yeah.
they're dropping down, and
True.
it goes all the way from NAIA level
Yeah.
by level, and you have to see that constant flow up. Now, I tell you who I feel sorry for, except for the elite high school seniors. There's a lot of these seniors now that are getting overlooked for scholarships, because
Yeah.
if I'm a coach and I need to win right now,
Yep.
and I've got this transfer portal, am I going to take a 17, 18-year-old kid in who's never played a game, or am I going to go out and pick up a guy that's had 3 years of weightlifting, he's matured, and he's got experience, I'm going to bring him in, and this poor kid out here, he's going to have to start down, a little
minor
lower
leagues.
level and then prove himself, and it's become just a minor league
That's
feeder
what it is.
system
I
for the
know.
Power Four
I agree.
conferences.
Well, the only thing about the MAC too and these lower is they're getting a good payday. Well, let's face it, the MAC teams, they play a lot of the Big Ten teams, right? They get slaughtered.
Kent State.
But it's a good thing for them, because if I'm correct, I think you have to average 25,000 people a game to retain your D1 status. So if Kent State goes in and gets beat 70-0 against Ohio State, and there's 102,000 people there, that accounts for 4 games for them.
Yeah.
So it's bad for them, but it's also a help. Plus, they get a good payday of about $1 million.
Well,
That funds their programs, truly.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
MAC schools can't, the truth of the matter is it funds a lot of their programs, just not their football, basketball, but everything else they've got there, so.
Do you see the, going to the pros early, slowing down with them, paying them in college?
Yes.
Why not take the money in college, play less games, not as big of players, and could extend your career?
Well, you got an example. This kid that's the quarterback at Miami Hurricanes this year, this Carson Beck, has been in Georgia. They thought he was going to be a first-round draft pick. He wasn't, so he takes more money. Well, what was it last year? I forget who it was. One of the college quarterbacks was making more money than Brock Purdy, who had just led the 49ers to the Super Bowl. And it all because, these kids stay in school. If you're getting $2 or $3 million and stay in college, and like you say, play 12 games or 13 games, and then maybe enhance your draft value as opposed to maybe going in the pros in the late rounds or something like that. So, yeah, you're right.
But I also wonder, is that really helping these kids jumping around?
$2 million has helped me. I don't know about
The money helps,
Yeah.
but if you're wanting to
Some of my
if you're
hills.
wanting to become a pro, and you've been to 4 or 5 different schools, what does it say about your character? What does it say about your leadership ability?
Yeah, the pros don't, when you're,
Yeah, they do matter. Ask Shadur Sanders.
well, yeah, one. And it had to be for the Browns to help them out. But, I don't know that, that makes a difference. Pros are out for they're professional. I'll pay you to do a job. The kids move around on their own. It does say something about them, but I'm not happy here. I don't get on with the coach. I'd agree with that, but not draft somebody if he's, the next coming of Jim Brown, they're gonna play him, so.
Well, hey, that kind of segues in. We're starting to talk pros now. There's 2 things we want to cover yet, maybe before we wrap things up here a little bit. Let's go NFL, and then we're going to wrap up with the Reds and Major League Baseball races right now.
On a
So
positive
kind of
note.
on a positive note. So, in a positive note, how you like those Bengals, and particularly that offensive line there,
Boy, I'll
Michael?
tell you what, I love that, because I'm a Vikings fan. And for all you Bengals fans out there, I have been saying for years, because I covered the Bengals when I was down at the radio station in Wilmington, and the difference between Mike Brown and Paul Brown is night and day. And I want to explain this to the Bengals folks, so you understand about the game of football. When Paul Brown was there, and they started the Bengals in 1968, the very first player he ever drafted
A center.
was a center from Tennessee, Bob Johnson. Bob Johnson played for them for 12 years. He's the only Bengal that's had his jersey number retired. The only one. And he played all 12 years for him, and he was an all-star in 68. Now, in 1968, they had the AFL and the NFL still, but considered being an all-star was like being an all-pro. So Mike Brown knew what he was doing. or Paul Brown did.
What position did you play in high school?
I was a center.
I'm gonna put that out too there, by the way.
And I played it.
No bias here.
I played it in college too, and I got my brains beat out. But in
That explains a
1991,
lot.
in 1991, Mike Brown took over the Bengals. In that time, the Bengals have drafted 20 offensive tackles and 40 total players. Okay?
In the
They've had
first
two
round.
All-Pros, since Mike Brown's been there. Kevin Zeitler, who he traded away, and Andrew Whitworth, who he traded away.
Anthony Munoz.
Anthony Munoz was drafted in 1980 by his dad.
Dad, okay.
Okay? Since 2011, they have drafted 20 offensive linemen. Not one of them has signed a second contract with the Bengals.
Wow.
And most of them are still not even in the NFL.
A good thing.
Joe Burrow, since he has been here, has been sacked 201 times for an average of 33 and a half times a year. You wonder why he's hurt all the time. That's because he's getting the heck beat out of him. Another problem with the Bengals is they've had coaches that do not respect the run. Zach Taylor cannot run the ball. Chase Brown has 93 yards on 47 carries so far this year. That's less than 2 yards a carry. Since 2020, their run ranking, running the football, they are ranked 25th in the NFL, 24th, 23rd, 29th, and this year 32nd.
And there's how many teams?
32.
32.
So,
Thank you.
the problem is obvious to me and most other people, and I've heard this whole week on some of the sport talk shows. In order to win in the game of football, you have to run the football. It sets up everything else. But Mike Brown likes the flash. That's why he's willing to pay big money to Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. You got to remember, this is also the same guy who drafted I forget what year it was, but there was 3 quarterbacks drafted in the first 3 picks. The Bengals picked third. It was Couch and who was the guy from Ohio State quarterback. Anyway, and then they picked Akili Smith.
Yeah, that was a dog.
Mike Brown,
Like the name.
when asked why he picked Akili Smith, to show you his football knowledge, he said, "I like the name Akili because in his language it means warrior." I'll leave it at that.
He worried himself right out of the league, didn't he?
Have you got done with the exorcism about the Bengals now?
Man, I tell you.
The only reason he likes the team over there is because he likes their helmets.
I do.
Yeah.
They're one of my helmet teams.
As
I've
I-
got four favorite teams, and they've all got great looking helmets. The Cardinals, the Rams, the Vikings, and the Eagles. You got to admit, those are great looking
Those
helmets.
are decent helmets. Those are decent helmets. Yeah, you know,
Who's the favorite team this year? Who do you think who's the surprise team?
well, the Colts.
Yeah.
Colts for one. They got Daniel Jones. He's kind of been resurrected.
I kind of watched the game last night. I think if they get healthy, I think the Ravens are going to be
The Ravens will be good still
they're
there.
going to be really good. I think, boy, for all the injuries they have, a team that just surprises me all the time is the 49ers. And they are beat up right now.
Yeah,
But they're still winning. So,
yeah.
who knows?
They lost Nick
Rams
Bosa.
look good. Rams look good.
I think the Bills are going to be there, for the
Yeah.
AFC again. And I agree with you. The Ravens, when they get help, they're going to win their division. The Bengals and Steelers and Browns are, no. But the Chargers surprised me so far at 3-0 a little bit.
They lost their running back.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
But I
lost
would
their-
go.
Yeah, Najee Harris won.
Yeah.
And you can't beat the Eagles. I mean, the Eagles right now looks like Bills and Eagles to me again.
I think
Early season.
I think you're starting to see the first decline of the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs are going to kind of just slowly, and I'm not saying they're not a good team.
They're a good
They
team.
are.
Not.
But I don't think they're going to be that power that they've been over 4 or 5 of the last.
One of the
4 or
things
5
I've
last
noticed
years.
about the Chiefs that's kind of bothered me, have you watched their demeanor on the sidelines?
Different, isn't it?
They're not as unified as they were.
Mm-hmm.
And what was it, the other night, when Travis Kelce came off, the coach just was all over him. You could just tell there's some infighting going on there. So I don't know if it's just ready for them to collapse or whatever, but they're not the same.
Well, they're not getting all the calls that helped out as well, but I throw that in there.
Anyhow, NFL, I mean, We only played 4 games. They got 13 more to go.
Week to
All I
week.
know is I'll tell my wife hello again, probably about 1st or middle of February.
Yeah, oh, shoot. Shoot, I forgot I've got a wife. I better go talk to her.
Did you watch the entire Bengal game? Anybody do that?
I did.
No.
Oh, my Lord. Because you're
No.
a Viking fan. You
No,
couldn't get
I-
enough of that, could you?
No, I got rid of that game in a hurry.
Yeah, I watched the World Championships.
I think
Crack.
really the most disturbing thing about that game was it looked like the Bengals just quit.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what it
they
was.
did.
Yeah.
And even Jamar Chase he just acted like he didn't want to be there.
Yeah,
Probably didn't.
Probably didn't. It was a sad.
But this was
performance.
from the start of the game. They just acted like they were just going through the motions.
Yeah.
Pretty obvious.
Okay, let's wrap things up here with little Major League Baseball. Couple things. We've got the Reds tied with the Mets. The Diamondbacks are a game behind. Each
Yep.
team has 6 games left for that 3rd and final wild card spot in the National League. And Reds have 3 with the Pirates. Here's my greatest fear. Remember a week or 2 ago, the Reds went out there. They took 2 out of 3 from the Padres, a really good playoff team. Then he went up to Sacramento with the Athletics and lost 3 in a row. Now you got the Pirates coming in down at Great American Ballpark, and boy, I hope there's not a letdown there. Because if they can handle the Pirates, then they go up and finish the season in
Brewers.
Milwaukee, and the Brewers have nothing to gain. They've already got the number 1 seed, and you probably won't see some of their starters playing those last couple of games. So the Reds, if they can handle the Pirates, I think the Reds
That's
are going to
big.
get there.
The Reds are 6-4 against the Pirates this year. Only 3-7 against the Brewers. They close out
Yeah.
the Brewers. The Brewers have the certain teams. We have struggled. The Reds. I'm a Reds fan. Struggle beating is the Dodgers and Brewers. You might as well throw Cardinals in there generally, but those you got New York Mets. That the tiebreaker belongs to Cincinnati, both with Cincinnati, New York Mets, and Arizona. The Mets have 3 games with the Cubbies, and then 3 with the Marlins. And then Arizona closes out 3 games with the Dodgers,
Tough
and 3 with
schedule.
the Padres.
Yeah.
Arizona is a tough word to go. I think New York has the easiest way to go, and Cincinnati. So it's going to come down. If you win 4 games of those 6, you're in.
There's only one thing wrong with playing a team that has nothing to lose. You know, they're already in, they've got it won. Is a lot of times their inspiration is, okay, let's knock these guys out of the playoffs. That's
That's
the one
true,
thing you
too.
got to watch. That's, okay, we're in, but let's just ruin their season for them. You got to watch that.
So how much credit do you give to the Reds' new coach this year? Does he get all the credit for what the team's done, or?
I think he gets a share of it.
That and maturity.
Yeah.
I think the Reds have matured.
And their pitching staff, if they stay
Pitching
healthy,
staff
the pitching
is,
staff can keep them in games.
Yeah.
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 First, that's something they haven't had for a while.
No.
No,
Their
the-
bullpen has been weak for a long time. I mean,
The Reds lack a 1 or 2 true home run hitters.
Yes.
They don't, I mean, somebody to take it out of the park, we just don't have that. Everything else is set up for, and the team was designed that way. Base hits, doubles, that sort of thing, but they lack that power in the lineup.
Yeah. Let's take a look at the other Ohio team, because this could be one of the great comeback stories
Guardians?
of Major League history. And the
Tribe?
Guardians, the Tribe. I still think they're the Indians, like
Yep.
most people do. 15 and a half games back behind the Detroit Tigers in the middle of July, and all of a sudden, with 1 week to play, 1 game behind
Yeah.
because Detroit's lost 9 of the last 10. Cleveland had a 10-game winning streak going. They made up 9 games in the standings in 10 days.
Yep.
And here they are. And they have who left, Ty? You have that
I don't
written
have what
down?
they have left, no. But, they're on a roll. They're going to be in the playoffs, I've no doubt about it, but they're on a roll right now.
Yeah.
Will they change their name back to the Indians, though?
Boy,
Will the Redskins change their name back?
I don't
St.
know.
Henry going to change their name?
Pick one.
No.
Fort
St.
Recovery.
Henry's going to stay whatever they are.
Poor Lorby.
They're the Redskins
Recovery.
forever.
Cleveland said they're not changing back.
The Guardians, just such a,
I
that's
don't
a
know.
terrible name.
Sounds like an insulation company.
Or a hospital.
Something like that. I don't know what it is.
Oh.
Anyhow, but it's going to be interesting how this last week of Major League Baseball season plays out. And, this is, to me, this is the best time of year for sports,
It is.
from the professional, college, and high school ranks, because there's so many sports going. And, I love basketball, but man, you get the football and you get the baseball playoffs. Hockey's going to start pretty soon. NBA basketball will crank up pretty soon. and then all the other sports, the tennis and the golf and everything, soccer, cross country,
Volleyball,
at the high school
everything.
level.
Hey, how about the Indiana Fever?
Indiana
Yeah.
Fever, what a comeback, yeah.
Really?
Knocked off the Las Vegas Aces, and
First
they're in the
game, so at least they're in the
semifinals, and they're
playoff.
missing
My God.
5 players.
Right.
5 important players.
5 important
Yeah.
players, right, yeah. so-
Hats off to the ladies across the board.
Anyhow, I tell you what, this has been great. Like I say, sports
We could
is
do
kind
this
of
all
our-
day.
Sports is our wheelhouse, and,
Yeah.
and we talk about a lot of different things with a lot of different people, but this is one thing we really enjoy talking about, and so glad you folks could join us here today, and we'll probably be back another month or so as we start getting toward the playoff
Playoffs.
picture for high school as well as baseball and all that kind of stuff. So anyhow, Mike Stiegel, Galen Blosser, Ty House, I'm Alex Warner, Nick Schmidt behind the camera. Thanks for joining us here on the roundtable, and we'll be back hopefully with some more interesting things to talk about here in the
Hopefully.
coming weeks. So have a good day, everybody.